welcome back to carbuyer.com.sg. Today we are going to review the Nissan Kicks e-Power here in Singapore. We're going to show you it outside, inside, what it's got, what it's like to drive, and does it really do what it claims to do. Alright, so Nissan Kicks e-Power, well, let's unpack that name first. Kicks is a small SUV from Nissan, and if you never heard of it before, that's well because it's pretty bloody new. It goes up against the Honda HR-V and also possibly the Nissan Qashqai in the small SUV segment. But you know, e-Power, that is the special deal here. The Kicks isn't available as a conventional gasoline powered car. Instead, it's an e-Power, which is Nissan's hybrid system. So under the bonnet is a 1.2 litre inline 3-cylinder engine that powers a battery pack in the back of the car. That battery pack powers a 129 horsepower electric motor that drives the front wheels. So just like the Nissan Serena e-Power, which was the first e-Power model that launched in Singapore, that was last year. You can watch the video. We did a full review of that too, one of our more popular reviews that we did. And we explain in that video really how e-Power works, all the benefits of it too. But of course, the exciting thing here is that it's not in an MPV, big boxy boring MPV, which is specialized for someone who wants to carry 6 people around. But first, let's take a look at what it looks like. Now that's Nissan's V-Motion grille in front. Really quite a big grille if you think about it, almost big as the Serena's. And we have two very squinty headlight units overall. Very extroverted look, which is exactly what buyers expect from an SUV these days. Those wheels are rather large. They are 17-inch wheels, and this is the special orange color, very stand out in your face. You can also see you can also see the contrast colored roof, bit of reflections, but I think you can see the dark colored roof right there. Gonna look around the back. Say, check out the headlights, kind of remind us of the Murano and a little bit of Nissan Juke, coincidentally, which is shares a platform with the Kicks as well. If you go underneath, we can see that little kind of diffuser, also in body color. So overall, quite a nice, nicely designed car. Check out the C-pillar as well. Little design trick for SUVs there. The floating so-called C-pillar, so it makes it look like there isn't actually a C-pillar at all. Okay, cool. Let's now look in the back seat. This is my driving position in front. I'm 1.7 meters tall. Pretty good leg room here. What you expect from a small SUV. 4 adults should be easy to fit, but with the rows a little bit cramped. So it's only here. But headroom is good too. My poofy hair, which I haven't cut for 2 months. Not bad. And we have 2 USB ports. Very useful. Okay, let's take a look at the boot. Okay, no auto tailgate here, but Nissan does say 423 liters in the boot. We can flip down the seats if you want. Don't think there's a way to do it from here. There is a little bunion. Yeah, we can flip those down. 423 liters, which is pretty okay. 400 plus liters is what you expect from this segment. Okay, so here's the inside of the Kicks. Now, there are 2 things here that immediately show us Nissan means business. One is a digital display right there. Another one is a digital infotainment system right there. I'm going to go through those later. Now first, let's take a look at this part, which tells you, yeah, this is an e-Power car. Of course, being a hybrid, you cannot have a normal transmission shifter. You must have a fancy joystick one. Park, easy peasy. Yep, we got drive modes here. So drive mode, just like before. We're in normal now. There's sport, there's eco, and normal. And we can also switch on EV mode. Battery too low. Yeah, well, the battery's really small in this car, so okay, whatever. And that's about it for driving modes. But let's take a look at this digital display right here. So let's scroll through. Right now we have the information display. As you can see, 4.9. Again, we'll come to that later. Scrolling through, this is fuel economy. This is, I have no idea what this is. Oh, it's like the safety indicator when your systems are on. This is my media. This is my eco dial, so you see that little band here, then you know you're driving in eco mode. This blue bit means the regeneration. And if we switch this around to sport, you see how this bar becomes longer. That's because in sport the regeneration becomes harder, so you have more of a braking force without actually pressing the braking pedal. Same for eco as well, so you can use that one pedal style like a real EV, like the Nissan Leaf. Okay, so there we go. Let's go through some more. Alright, driver assistance, vehicle settings, all that sort of thing. This is also our information display. So we have the forward collision warning and blind spot indicators. They're right here. Speed, driving computer. Alright, so the second thing we have here is this infotainment system. Now this sounds a little bit basic, I know, but if you keep in mind that typically the other Nissan cars, they would just have an aftermarket system or one that didn't work particularly well. This, in contrast, is really quite impressive. So we have buttons here, a bit like the VW setup, but this is also a full touch screen. So let's go to the menu. Oh, we are at the menu. So phone, you can connect your phone via Bluetooth, but you can also do Apple CarPlay, although Android Auto is not available. Audio, yeah, there we go. Apple devices. I don't have an Apple phone, so camera, it's not good. Oh, it does have a camera system. Let me show you. Go to reverse. It's up there. Ta-da! But one downside of this is that it's really reflective sometimes, so you kind of have to squint to see that. Anyway, go back to park. Okay, so the usual things, settings, volume, beep, it works very well. We've used it, and you know, for the money, for a sub $100,000 car, this is the kind of thing that you would expect. And you know, in contrast to something like the Sylphy, this shows how much relevance the Kicks has to the local market. This is really quite a performer in terms of equipment. We have single zone aircon, which is okay. USB, no wireless charger though. Okay, and you would have noticed the eye-searing shade of orange also on the seats, and these special pattern seats. So these are a feature of the Premium Plus version. There are two versions of the Kicks here. One is the Premium and one is the Premium Plus. The Premium Plus gets the super orangey bit, or you can opt for black if you want. And another bonus of the Premium Plus is the active safety systems, which you saw just now. So driver assistance, that's blind spot monitoring, forward emergency braking, driver attention alert, and also the adaptive cruise control. Alright, so you're probably wondering which one you should buy. Well, the $3,000 difference between the Plus and the Premium Plus means that it's almost a no-brainer. I mean, that's like a 3% premium, but you get the additional safety stuff, which we think is always very useful and important when you do get into an incident. All right, but on towards how does the Kicks drive. Well, we're gonna drive it right now. Let's cut to that. Okay, let's drive the Kicks. What's that noise? Oh, okay, so the engine just came on immediately, kind of a brr right there, just like the e-Power, Serena e-Power. So right now I'm in park. I push this button to go into park mode. Fancy hybrid cool techie shifter thing. Now I'm in drive. I'm going to shift from drive, what am I in? Eco mode. This is a regular drive mode. Okay, then I'm going to put the energy flow button. Let's go. Okay, so right now, low speed, below 20 kilometers an hour. Okay, engine just came on. I'm sure you can hear that. You definitely will know when it comes on, but it's a little less loud than it was in the Serena. Actually, contrary to our expectations, but perhaps because the Serena is a bigger car, maybe they used less sound insulation. The windows are even bigger than this one. Just gonna go one more round at low speed just to let you guys hear it. So the reason why the revs are so high is because there isn't much battery to begin with. So the system is charging up right now. So that isn't super intrusive. It kind of blends into the background in a while, especially if you have your music on. But once we get to high speed, it isn't as apparent. Okay. I'm just gonna drive normally, let the car do its thing. Oh, there, it cut off. So once it cut off, it becomes a lot quieter. You can hear we're kind of rolling on almost near silence now. We're at 30 kilometers an hour, low speed, like a parking lot. Very smooth and quiet. But now that we have that out of the way, let's evaluate the kicks in day-to-day driving. So high seating position, this is pretty much the lowest I can go, and still lots of headroom, but it does feel like a high seating position compared to a sedan or a hatchback. And I got good visibility forward, side not so bad, but the A-pillars are a little thick, and there's no cutout here for me to see through either, so that's not so good, but forward is good. Alright, rolling along again, we're going to go a bit faster. Now one thing that strikes me about the Kicks is that, like many small SUVs these days, it's got that little lumpy ride, so the little bumps are quite apparent. This road isn't super bad, but you can kind of would feel that. Obviously with the GoPro on the window, the vibrations are going to be a bit more obvious to your ear. In real life it isn't that bad, but okay, boom, 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 you feel that? So it's what I like to call the small SUV pitter-patter, and big wheels on a small car. The good thing about this is that when you go faster and on the bigger bumps, it's not so bad. I'm going to go a bit faster now, going about 50. Hear that? The engine kind of matches to the throttle input, but obviously right foot and engine are not connected. There's a mediating entity in the form of the electric motor, which is nice and talky. But ride quality day to day feels pretty good. A little bit bumpy, but you know, the problem is everybody else does it. Every other SUV does that, pretty much. So we're gonna go a bit faster now. Drive mode, switch to sport, and try out the electric motor. So there you go, you can hear that engine kind of linked to the revs. I think it does that to keep the charge level up because the battery isn't a super big one. But nice, there's quite a lot of torque. This is one of the more torquey cars in the class, 240-ish plus newton meters of torque. I think it's 260 if I remember right, but it's quite direct. And of course this is one of the benefits of e-Power, the fact that you're not kind of waiting around for the hybrid engine to deliver the torque. You're not waiting for the electric motor to get together. You just have electric motor, boom, let's go. Okay? Like that. But as I go faster, you can hear that brrr. Oh, I think that was my stuff. You can hear that brrr, so it's not the quietest. Brrr. So now engine is running, charging the battery. Battery is taking the power to the electric motor. That's how we're going forward. But I must say it handles quite neatly. I'm going a bit quicker now, and it is quite fun. I actually expected, given cars like the Sylphy or the Note, for the car to not handle that well, but this is quite a neat handler. And I think with the e-Power, the torque, you'll find that if you're a keen driver, it does deliver quite some reward, and I didn't expect that. Alright, so the moment of truth. You're wondering, how did the Kicks do as a hybrid? Let's see. 5 liters per 100 km and 72. I accidentally reset that, and I got like 6 point something with an additional 30 plus kilometers in the city. And also I've been sitting here talking to you guys on camera, so on average I think it would have been about 5 point something if I didn't drive like a dual N, i.e. So Nissan says 4.6 liters per 100 kilometers, and honestly we weren't that conscientious. We didn't use eco mode. This was left over from when I showed you the feature. So if you guys are careful, I think you could get below 5 liters per 100. And yeah, so we weren't very careful and we got 5 just like that. So okay, so the Kicks drives pretty well, aside from a bit of noise from the engine and the pitter-patter ride quality. But overall I think it's quite an impressive package. Yet one of the things that would But one of the things that is a minus to us is that Nissan's build quality still isn't quite, 100% there. So I'll just show you this here. I mean, this is forks carbon fiber, which always isn't very nice. And one big piece of black plastic here. It's not terrible. The more you use it, you kind of get used to it. Yeah, you can see that big plastic panel there. I mean, if you compare it to a Kia or a Mazda, it's definitely not as nice. So the features are there, but maybe the presentation isn't quite as good as those brands, for example. So if you're fussy about that sort of thing, that's one thing to keep in mind. So is the Kicks good value for money? At 108 grand, it's still okay. At 99 grand, it was really good value for money. But of course, the COE prices have fluctuated since then. That's kind of out of Nissan's control. But let's sum up 108 grand for this. Yeah, it's not bad. And this is the highest spec one. The cheaper one is 105 grand. So all in all, I think it's a solid choice. You got your safety, you got a decent drive, and economically, efficiency, it does what it says on the box. So, this is quite good value for money. If you want to consider another car, you could consider the lower grade version of the Kia Niro, which is I think 108 grand as well. But the high grade one with all the goodies, has more goodies than this, and aircon seats, that one costs 116 grand. So these two cars are pretty much the cheapest hybrid SUVs you'll find on the market right now. So that is our review of the Nissan Kicks. We hope you enjoyed it and got a kick out of it. And if you liked it, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell thing that everyone keeps talking about. Go to the website and share this story, share this video, share everything in the whole world. Thanks for watching.